High mileage oils. Are they really pulling the weight they claim, or are companies just very good marketers? The label on these bottles claims it will reduce leaks, stop oil consumption, remove sludge, and extend engine life. But most people never learn that the chemistry inside that bottle is barely different from the regular synthetic oil sitting right next to it on the shelf. The real question you need to ask is, does this oil suit my vehicle's needs? Let us begin with what the technical data sheets actually reveal. When you compare the formulation of high-mileage oils to premium synthetic oils, the differences are incremental at best. Take Pennzoil Platinum High Mileage, which is made from a natural gas-based oil that is 99.5% free of impurities. That sounds impressive until you realize that many full synthetic oils, not labeled high mileage, already use similar Group 2, Group 3, or fully synthetic base stocks. The base oil quality is not radically different. What changes is mainly the marketing message printed on the front of the bottle. High-mileage oils do contain something called the seal conditioners, and these are real chemical compounds. But they are not some magical formula invented in a secret laboratory. Seal conditioners are small amounts of esters or organic solvents that have been used in passenger car motor oils for decades. What high-mileage oils do is increase the concentration of these additives. When you pour this oil into your engine, these compounds cause the elastomeric seals to swell slightly. The swelling can help reduce minor seepage around valve covers or oil pans. However, and this is critical, seal conditioners cannot repair seals that have already hardened or cracked from age. They cannot fix mechanical wear if your rear main seal is shot or your valve stem seals are toast. No additive package in the world will solve that problem. You are looking at a repair bill no matter what oil you use. The technical literature describes seal swell agents as organic phosphates and aromatic hydrocarbons. Mobil 1 high mileage product sheets specifically list seal conditioner additives to help prevent leaks. Valvoline Max Life and full synthetic high mileage advertise premium seal conditioners to rejuvenate aging seals. It means to temporarily soften and swell, not to reverse decades of heat cycling and chemical breakdown. The effect is real but limited. You might see a small reduction in oil spots on your driveway. You might buy yourself a few more months before a major repair. But you are not reversing time. What surprises most people is that when you switch to a high-mileage oil with enhanced detergents, your oil consumption can actually increase at first. The reason is simple. Stronger detergents start cleaning out sludge and varnish that has been sitting in your engine for years. That old crusty buildup had been acting like a gasket, sealing minor imperfections. Once the detergents scrub it away, those imperfections are exposed. Your seals need time to swell again as the seal conditioners do their work. During that transition period, you might burn through more oil than before. Most marketing materials will not tell you this. They focus on the long-term benefits, not the short-term reality. Viscosity is where high-mileage oils play their strongest hand. Data sheets show that high-mileage oils are deliberately formulated to be thicker than their standard counterparts. Take Mobil 1 High Mileage 5W30. It has a kinematic viscosity at 40 degrees Celsius of approximately 69.2 millimeters squared per second, and at 100 degrees Celsius of approximately 11.7 millimeters squared per second. Compare that to typical 5W30 oils, which usually sit around 9.7 to 10.3 at 100 degrees Celsius. High-mileage oils are pushed to the heavier end of the viscosity range, and some formulations creep so close to the next grade that they are essentially thicker oils wearing a lower viscosity label. This thicker oil film helps in worn engines. It reduces blow by where combustion gases leak past worn piston rings into the crankcase. It helps maintain oil pressure when bearings have extra clearance from wear. It provides better protection at high temperatures. But here's the reality check. You could achieve similar results by simply moving up one viscosity grade within your manufacturer's approved range. If your manual says you can use 5W20 or 5W30, and you are currently running 5W20 in a high-mileage engine, switching to a regular 5W30 might give you the same benefits as a high-mileage 5W20. You do not necessarily need to pay the premium for the high-mileage label. High temperature, high shear viscosity is another metric that matters. This measures how well the oil maintains its protective film strength under extreme conditions. Mobil 1 High Mileage 5W30 has an HTHS value of 3.3 millipascal seconds. Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage 5W30 reports 3.2. Typical resource-conserving 5W30 oils sit around 2.9 to 3.0. That higher HTHS means better film strength under stress, which helps protect worn bearings and cylinder walls. But it also means slightly lower fuel economy because the thicker oil creates more drag. There is always a trade-off. High-mileage oils sacrifice a bit of efficiency for extra protection. Volatility is another area where high-mileage oils show real advantages. The NOAC volatility test measures how much oil evaporates at high temperatures. Lower volatility means less oil burn off through the PCV system and past the rings. Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage specifies NOAC evaporation under 15%. Pennzoil High Mileage oils emphasize less oil burn off in their marketing. These oils achieve lower volatility because they use heavier base stocks or fully synthetic bases with fewer light fractions. The benefit is genuine. However, many premium full synthetic oils not labeled high mileage already deliver excellent NOAC numbers. You might be paying for a feature you could get elsewhere for less money. The detergent and dispersant strategy in high mileage oils is worth examining. Pennzoil claims its high mileage oil keeps pistons up to 45% cleaner than the toughest industry standards. Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage lists extra detergent and dispersant to reduce sludge and varnish. These claims are based on increasing the concentration of additives that already exist in most motor oils. Detergents neutralize acids and prevent deposits. Dispersants keep contaminants suspended so they do not clump together. Boosting these additives helps clean an engine that has been neglected or run on cheap oil for too long. But if you have been using quality oil and changing it on time, the extra cleaning power may not matter much. On the flip side, there is a darker area around aggressive detergents. When a high-mileage oil starts dissolving years of buildup, where does that material go? It gets suspended in the oil until the next change. If the engine is really dirty, that first oil change after switching to high-mileage oil can turn the oil black within a few hundred miles. Some of that crud ends up in the oil filter. If the filter gets overloaded, the bypass valve opens and unfiltered oil circulates through the engine. This is why mechanics often recommend shorter oil change intervals when switching to high-mileage oil for the first time. You want to get the loosened deposits out of the system before they cause problems. Used oil analysis is the only objective way to know if a high-mileage oil is actually performing better in your specific engine. Laboratories that perform oil analysis emphasize that viscosity should stay in grade throughout the oil change interval. If viscosity drops by half a centistoke or more, you have fuel dilution or shearing of the viscosity improvers. If viscosity increases significantly, you have oxidation or coolant contamination. Trend analysis over multiple oil changes is more valuable than a single sample. You need to compare your used oil data against the fresh oil properties and watch how things change over time. Enthusiast forums are full of used oil analysis reports from people running high-mileage oils. The data shows that these oils shear and oxidize similarly to their non-high-mileage counterparts. Some users report reduced oil consumption when they switch to thicker high-mileage blends, but others see little change. The results depend heavily on the specific engine, how it has been maintained, and what operating conditions it sees. High-mileage oils are not a universal solution. They help some engines and do nothing for others. The additive packages are proprietary, and the differences between brands are subtle enough that generalizing is difficult. Marketing departments will never tell you that some companies simply relabel existing oils for the high-mileage market without changing the formulation. An industry blog from AmSoil warns this practice is more common than consumers realize. A manufacturer might take its standard synthetic blend, run it through the same quality control tests, and put a high-mileage label on it with a $2 price increase. Legally, there is nothing wrong with that, as long as the oil meets the specifications printed on the bottle. Ethically, it is deceptive. You are paying more for the same product because the label says high mileage. The Machinery Lubrication Technical article points out that specific additive packages in high-mileage oils often do not vary much from normal oils. The main difference is the concentration of existing additives, not the introduction of revolutionary new chemistry. The article cautions that high-mileage oils will not fix mechanical problems like blow-by or loss of compression. If your engine is burning oil because the rings are worn or the valve guides are shot, no oil formulation will stop that. You need machine work. You need new parts. Oil is a lubricant and a protector. It is not a mechanic in a bottle. So where does this leave you as a consumer trying to make a smart decision? High-mileage oils do offer real benefits, but those benefits are modest and situational. If your engine has minor seepage around gaskets, a high-mileage oil with seal conditioners might reduce that seepage enough to avoid a repair for a while. If your engine is consuming a bit more oil than it used to, a thicker high-mileage formula with low volatility might slow that consumption. If your engine has some sludge buildup from inconsistent maintenance, the enhanced detergents might clean things up. These are all legitimate improvements, but they are not transformative. They are incremental. The question you need to ask is whether the incremental improvement justifies the higher cost. High-mileage oils typically cost $2 to $5 more per quart than conventional oils. Over the course of a year, if you are doing your own oil changes, that adds up to $20 to $50 depending on your vehicle and how often you change oil. Is it worth it? That depends on your specific situation. If paying an extra $30 per year helps you avoid a $500 valve cover gasket replacement, absolutely. But if your engine is healthy and not showing any symptoms, you might be wasting money. There is an alternative approach that saves money and might work just as well. First, make sure you are using the correct viscosity for your engine and driving conditions. If your manual allows a range, consider moving to the higher end of that range as your engine ages. Second, choose a quality full synthetic oil from a reputable brand. Full synthetics already have better base stocks, lower volatility, and strong additive packages. Third, stay on top of maintenance. Replace your PCV valve when recommended. Use quality oil filters. Fix small leaks before they become big leaks. Address mechanical issues instead of trying to band-aid them with oil additives. These steps will extend your engine life more effectively than any high-mileage label. There is also the issue of shear stability. High-mileage oils often use robust viscosity modifier polymers to maintain their viscosity under high shear conditions. These polymers are long-chain molecules that temporarily align under stress, and then relax when the stress is removed. Over time, and with repeated shearing, these polymers break down, and the oil becomes thinner. Used oil analysis reports show that many high-mileage oils shear down over extended drain intervals just like any other oil. If you are running 10,000-mile oil changes in a worn engine, even a high-mileage oil will be thinner at the end than at the beginning. The benefit comes from starting with a higher viscosity, not from magical resistance to shearing. Oxidation is another thing to look out for. As oil ages, it reacts with oxygen at high temperatures. This creates acids, varnish, and sludge. The acid number increases, the base number decreases, and viscosity tends to increase as the oil thickens. High-mileage oils contain antioxidants to slow this process, but so do all quality oils. The rate of oxidation depends more on engine operating conditions than on the oil formulation. Short trips, high loads, and hot climates accelerate oxidation. Long highway cruising at moderate temperatures is much easier on oil. If you drive hard in hot weather, no oil will last as long as the manufacturer claims. You need to shorten your change intervals based on how you drive, not just the odometer. Fuel economy is another consideration that rarely gets mentioned. Thicker oils create more internal drag. High-mileage oils with their heavier viscosity and higher HTHS values, meaning high temperature, high shear, resist flow more than thinner oils. This means your engine works a bit harder to pump the oil, and that costs you a small amount of fuel economy. The difference is usually 1 or 2%, not enough to notice at the pump day to day. But over a year, that adds up. If you drive 15,000 miles annually and get 25 miles per gallon, a 2% fuel economy loss costs you about 12 gallons of gas. At $4 per gallon, that is roughly $50. The high-mileage oil might cost you $30 more than conventional, and then cost you another $50 in lost fuel economy. Suddenly, the math does not look as good. Compatibility with emission systems is another area where high-mileage oils have evolved. Modern catalytic converters are poisoned by phosphorus and zinc compounds in oil. Older motor oils use zinc dialkyl-dithiophosphate as an anti-wear additive in high concentrations. Newer oils reduce phosphorus levels to protect the catalyst. High-mileage oils follow this same trend. Castrol G, TX. High-mileage 10W40 specifically reduces phosphorus content to protect catalytic converters. This is good for emissions, but it slightly reduces wear protection. The trade-off is necessary to meet environmental regulations, and it means high-mileage oils are not the bulletproof formulas that old-school oils were. Brand reputation matters more than most people realize. Major brands like Mobil 1, Valvoline, Pennzoil, and Castrol invest heavily in research and testing. Their high-mileage formulations are backed by real engineering. Smaller brands or store brand high-mileage oils may simply meet the minimum API or IL, SAC specifications without offering any real advantages over conventional oils. The $3 per quart store brand high-mileage oil is probably not formulated any differently than their $2 conventional oil. If you are going to pay a premium for high-mileage oil, buy from a manufacturer with a proven track record. Climate also affects whether high-mileage oil makes sense. In cold climates, thicker high-mileage oils take longer to circulate when you start the engine. That delayed circulation means more wear during cold starts. The first number in the viscosity rating, the 5W or the 0W, tells you how the oil flows when cold, but high-mileage oils pushed to the heavy end of their range still flow slower than lighter oils. If you live somewhere with harsh winters, you might be better off with a lighter viscosity oil that flows quickly on cold mornings. The wear from dry starts probably outweighs any benefits from a thicker film once the engine is warm. Turbocharged engines and engines with variable valve timing present another complication. These engines are sensitive to oil viscosity and flow characteristics. A high-mileage oil that is too thick can cause sluggish response in variable valve timing actuators, and it can delay turbo lubrication on startup. If your high-mileage vehicle has a turbo or variable valve timing, check with the vehicle manufacturer before switching to high-mileage oil. Some automakers explicitly recommend against using thicker oils in these engines, even as mileage accumulates. Diesel engines follow different rules. Diesel oil specifications are separate from gasoline engine oils. Diesel high-mileage oils exist, but the additive chemistry is different. Diesel oils need higher levels of detergents to handle soot, more dispersants to manage combustion byproducts, and different anti-wear packages. If you drive a high-mileage diesel truck, do not assume that a gasoline engine high-mileage oil will work. Read the label and make sure it meets the required diesel specifications like CK4 or FA4. The interval between oil changes matters as much as what oil you use. High-mileage oils are often marketed with extended drain interval claims. Mobil 1 high mileage says you can go up to 15,000 miles between changes. That might be true under ideal conditions, with oil analysis to confirm the oil is still protecting. But most worn engines with consumption or leaks need shorter intervals, not longer. If you are adding a quart every 1,000 miles, that fresh oil dilutes the used oil and introduces new additives. Ironically, frequent top-ups mean the oil in your engine is constantly refreshed. You might not need extended drain capability. You might be better off with cheaper oil, changed more often. Filter quality is just as important as oil quality. A cheap filter with poor media and a weak bypass spring will let contaminants circulate, even if you are running the best oil money can buy. High-mileage engines generate more blow by contaminants. They also shed more metal particles as clearances increase. A quality filter with synthetic media and good capacity is essential. Brands like Wix, Mobil 1, and K&N make excellent filters. Spending an extra $5 on a filter is smarter than spending an extra $20 on high-mileage oil and then pairing it with a junk filter. After all that we have covered, what is the verdict? High-mileage motor oils are not complete hype, but they are not miracle workers either. They incorporate legitimate chemical strategies. Seal conditioners are real and can reduce minor leaks. Higher viscosity-based stocks help maintain oil pressure and reduce consumption in worn engines. Enhanced detergents can clean up neglected engines. Lower volatility formulations reduce oil burnoff. These benefits are measurable and documented, but the differences compared to top-tier full synthetic oils are incremental, not revolutionary. The problem is that many drivers expect high-mileage oil to fix problems that require mechanical repair. They see the marketing promises and think they can avoid replacing leaking gaskets or worn rings. They cannot. High-mileage oil is a maintenance product, not a repair product. It helps healthy high-mileage engines stay healthy longer. It might buy you time before a repair, but it will not reverse wear or damage. From a financial standpoint, high-mileage oils make sense for some owners and not for others. If your vehicle has 200,000 miles, burns a quart of oil every 1,500 miles, and has minor seepage around valve covers, switching to high-mileage oil might extend the life of that engine another year or two. That extra time might let you save up for your next vehicle or defer a costly repair. The premium price is worth it. But if your vehicle has 80,000 miles, runs perfectly, and does not leak or consume oil, paying extra for high-mileage oil is probably a waste. You would do better investing that money in quality fuel, regular maintenance, and addressing small problems before they become big ones. The other consideration is resale value and peace of mind. Some owners switch to high-mileage oil as soon as their vehicle crosses 75,000 miles because they want the best possible protection. They are planning to keep the vehicle for another 100,000 miles or more. For them, the modest extra cost is insurance. Even if the benefits are incremental, they want every advantage. That is a perfectly reasonable decision. Other owners are planning to trade in their vehicle soon and just want it to last until the dealer takes it off their hands. For them, conventional oil is fine. At the end of the day, high-mileage oil is a tool in the toolbox, not a magic bullet. It has a place in the market for drivers with specific needs. But it is not essential, and in many cases a well-chosen conventional, full synthetic oil will deliver equal or better results for less money. The marketing is designed to make you feel like you are neglecting your engine if you do not buy high-mileage oil the moment your odometer crosses 75,000 miles. Do not fall for that. Evaluate your engine's actual condition. Look at whether you have leaks, consumption, or deposits. Then decide if the incremental benefits justify the higher price.